Good evening and welcome to HUR Home Inspiration. I'm Jacquie Gales Webb. I host Gospel Spirit every Sunday morning on 96.3 WHUR from 8 until 11. And every Sunday evening, we have this opportunity to get together and talk about things of faith, important things in our lives. And this particular program is very special to me because it has to deal with a subject that many of us are dealing with. Many of our loved ones are dealing with dementia. Today, an estimated 6.7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's. Estimates vary, but experts report that more than 7 million people ages 65 and older had dementia in 2020. If demographic and health trends continue, that number could be 9 million in 2030. My mother had dementia, and I cared for her, loved her so very much, and watched as she struggled with memory loss. Just think about the times you've entered a room and totally forgotten why you went there, or got lost on a directions that you normally have no problem following. Imagine the frustration of not knowing people, but you know them, but you don't really know them. I was always able to connect with my mother through music. My mother loved Duke Ellington and Count Basie because when my mother and my father were in Harlem, before I was born, they actually saw Duke Ellington and Count Basie and Billy Eckstine and Billie Holiday. So when the music was played, the smile came on her face, fingers started popping, and it was a good moment with someone who was experiencing memory loss. It brought back memories. Music does wonderful things for people. And so we're going to talk about an exciting new pilot program in the DMV that's using music as therapy for dementia patients. I want to bring on first the president and artistic director of the Washington Jazz Arts Institute, native Washingtonian Davey Yarborough, is joining us to talk about this pilot program. Welcome, Davey.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Thelma Burless, executive director of the Genevieve Johnson Senior Daycare Center, that was selected by the DC Commission on the Arts to pilot this program. Welcome, Thelma.
Thank you.
Thelma, tell us about how this pilot program began at your center at Zion Baptist Church, the Genevieve N. Johnson Senior Daycare Center.
Thank you. First, Jackie, let me just say thank you and HUR for having us to come and talk about this program. I have listened to you for years, and as a Howard University alumni, I'm very honored to be here. A little background, the Music Memory Cafe is very dear to my heart, as I actually came up with this idea as a result of my longtime work at Blues Alley Jazz Club, premier supper club in Washington, D.C. and Georgetown. I worked there for about 25 years as a reservations manager. So I got the opportunity to see the performers come in and rehearse every day. And I got to stay in the evenings and watch their shows. And I often wondered, and this is back in the 80s and the 90s, I often wondered, what happened to them when they get old? What happened to them when they lose their memory? Where do old musicians go? I was in college at the time, and I was studying recreation therapy and allied health. So thankfully, I was able to continue to work at Blues Alley, get the knowledge I needed in recreation therapy so that I can work in long-term care facilities. And I saw firsthand the importance of music therapy along with other activities that enhance physical and mental and cultural and spiritual growth. I saw that in the seniors. But the most profound effect that I've ever seen was music on seniors with dementia. And that is why I want to really focus on music therapy with our seniors who have dementia. We've seen how important it is to enhancing their quality of life. And so when we got the opportunity, thanks to a grant from the Commission on Arts and Humanities, to write a proposal, we jumped at the opportunity. We jumped at the opportunity because we already had seen the research, we already seen the evidence, how music affects the brain, how music affects the behaviors, how music can soothe the soul and the spirit of somebody with dementia. And this is a very passionate subject for me because I've worked with folks with dementia for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to do is we want to combine that love for jazz music during this pilot program with our knowledge about the effects of music therapy on our seniors with dementia. And we want to create a band. We want to give DC seniors an opportunity to work with other musicians. And then that's going to culminate into a wonderful project at the end of the season. And that's
so happy you said that, it's a pilot program, because we're working with jazz musicians now, but at our churches, there are so many church musicians who are seniors who are experiencing dementia, and this pilot program could be a catalyst for a similar program in our churches with our church musicians. And Davey Yarborough, your organization, the Washington Jazz Institute, is celebrating 25 years this year. Congratulations. How did you get involved with the Memory Cafe?
Well, I worked with the Zion Senior Center, the Genevieve J. Johnson and Johnson Center, through the Create and Thrive program that we have here in the district. But when I was approached with this, it hit a special place in my heart. Our mission at the Washington Jazz Arts Institute is to make sure that any young person, when they decide that they want to be an artist, that they have a support system hopefully throughout their career, as I have. And the one element that I have, there are the two elements that I have not been able to, or we have not been able to incorporate in our curriculum, is the elementary age student, and that is due to the vastness of the costs of everything, of putting it all together in space, and also the senior citizens, senior citizens group. We have the mentoring program at this point is professionals who work with college young folks, mentoring them, and the college mentor the high school on down through the age of 12. We're right now operating from age 12 to 21. We want to go from the beginning throughout the lives of the artists. And what was special about this, I learned, or the organization actually learned, we do free concerts for senior citizens and those who don't have the opportunity to see live jazz. And we actually presented at this Airman's Home on Upshur Street. And at the end of that concert, the senior citizens rolled down in their wheelchairs, came down however they could to the stage and engaged with the young people. And there was a synergy there. The seniors said, "You all are playing the music we listen to coming up, the music that's dear to our heart, which we don't get to see live." And the young people were thrilled that the audience loved what they were doing. So, and they conversed. And I was thinking about all the information that the seniors would pour down to the next generation, and the benefit it would have for them as they develop. So when I was called and asked about the Music Memory Cafe, I said, well, this is a good way to get started with the seniors, as well as I have my own personal experiences with memory loss, stemming from a young man who was in a coma after a hit and run. And he came out, and after learning how to move his fingers, he did have short-term memory loss. And he would tell me every day that I came in, Mr. Yarborough, did you know I was in a car accident? This went on for, a few weeks. Well, when he got well enough to be put into a wheelchair, we wheeled him down to the piano in the lobby. And we had just come back from the Montreux Jazz Festival where we were performing. He sat down and he played the material that we played. And so he said, and so that's when I realized that the long-term memory was still there. And I had a similar experience with my wife and co-founder, Esther Williams, when my mother went into a coma, and she came out of the coma. And part of her, as she was coming out, Esther would sing to her. And then all of a sudden, my mother started, first she smiled, and then she started singing with her as well. And that's one, I'm just going to stop because I've got several other stories behind that. But the combination of one, I had not thought about the actual dementia and memory loss area, but just the fact that we make our organization intergenerational so that our young people can get the best and most towards their becoming global citizens.
Well, I want to welcome everyone who joined us in the chat today. Thank you so much for joining us here for this very, very important conversation. And you all are looking for retired jazz musicians to audition for a jazz band. And I think I have that number up there. Contact Angela Ballard at 202-723-8537 if you want to audition or you have a loved one who needs to audition. My question is, do you have to be a card-carrying jazz musician, or can you be a jazz musician maybe that has not performed at Blues Alley, but you're still a jazz musician? How qualified do you have to be in order to join this jazz band?
Retired musician is what we're saying, because we want them to have enough experience to be able to express themselves. And that's really the only criterion. We in our audition will be to be able to assess where they are. Are they able to communicate and work with other members? And it's going to be a very small, because it's a pilot program, it's going to be a small ensemble. And one of the reasons that we chose jazz was because I was running, or we were running the Washington Jazz Arts Institute. But, and also this concept should spread to every genre of music and every genre of the arts, because this that's the connection that the creative juices, the creatives, we want them to be able to intermingle with the youth and tell them about their experiences and tell them what to look out for. And they also give them life lessons, which is crucial, especially at this time.
And I'd like to add to that as well, that although this is a pilot project, we know that this is not going to be an easy task. Alzheimer's and dementia robs the senior or anyone who has it of their dignity, of their ability to remember, of their thought process. So we know that everyone who may want to be a part of this pilot program may not qualify, because they may not even remember how to form their lips to play the trumpet or the saxophone, or how to place their hands on the piano. But it's our hope that once we reintroduce them to their instrument of choice, that they will be able to pull from their long-term memory and be able to engage in a manner that will enhance their quality of life, that will add that little glimpse of light in their eyes, that will help them share a piece of their soul. Even if it's for a few moments, we will be happy about that. So we look forward to that.
Thelma, tell me about the center. Who was Genevieve N. Johnson, and what is the center all about?
Well, Genevieve N. Johnson, Mrs. Genevieve N. Johnson, is our namesake, and she was a member of Zion Baptist Church. She was a senior activist in DC until the age of 102.
Mm.
She was responsible for helping with voting registration, helping seniors get their meals, helping seniors engage, have a safe environment where they can go and engage in recreational and social programs. And that is what Genevieve and Johnson Senior Daycare Center is all about. We are a daycare center in Ward 4. We have been around for, actually, we celebrate next month 41 wonderful years of bringing geriatric daycare services to Washington, D.C. It is a free program. It's funded through a continuation grant by the Department of Aging and Community Living. We also have a grant from the Washington Home that support the caregivers, the caregivers of the seniors who come to the program. And then now we have the Commission on Arts and Humanities. So between the recreational and social programs, the counseling, the case management, the Alzheimer's support, the nutritional programs, the transportation programs, we have a full program for any senior 65 or older.
Beautiful, beautiful.
60 or older, they can come to the program.
Okay. David, tell us some more great stories. You're going to say something, I take it right now, but when you finish, tell us some more of those great stories about how music helps people with memory loss.
Sure. You have me teetering on that, but one of the things that other things that really is dear to my heart is what happens when you retire. What happens for those who have not planned, the retirement, or what happens in terms of the industries that they worked in, that they have spent their lives participating in, but yet have what has been called aging out, and where they're cast aside. Here's an opportunity for all of that wealth of knowledge and experience to be handed down to the next generations. And they also, the seniors, that gives them a better quality of life because that gives them audience. But we also, there's the scientific side in terms of how can we treat the short memory to reach the long-term memory, or how do we slow down the process of memory loss? And I think that's something that needs to be studied. So we're hoping that the medical industry, not only just the therapy, but the medical industry itself sets up more study on dementia and what might be able to give the seniors or the person with memory loss a better quality of life.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's important, a better quality of life, and any joy that you can bring in, a blessing. Go ahead, Thelma. You were going to say something.
I really just want to make sure that everybody know that playing music therapy is so diverse. And playing an instrument, whether you're in a band or whether you're playing solo, that is a form of music therapy. That is an activity that we use as part of the music therapy program. And what it's going to do, and what research has shown that it's going to do, is it's going to help with the memory. Now, of course, Alzheimer's and dementia is a progressive disease, so we know it's not going to get any better. But there are things that can be done that can slow the effects and that can continue to keep that person functioning at their highest level possible. It can reduce stress. So that's one of the things that the music is going to do. It's going to help reduce the stress. It's going to help that senior become more cooperative, even at home. At home, when it comes to eating his nutritional meals or taking their medicine, it's going to help that person feel like they're more in control of their own decision making, because they can choose, to play that instrument. They can choose to sing along. They can choose to put that instrument down. It will improve their self-confidence and boost their morale. All these things are what we're going to be honing in on when we're forming this band and creating this wonderful musical. And we do expect to take you all with us. So although we're going to be auditioning in May, we want to bring you back. We want you to see this band. We want you to come to that culminating concert that they're going to provide at the end of all of this, and see the difference that being a part of this nicely formed band that Davey Yarborough is going to put together for us, the difference that's going to make for our seniors in DC. I'm excited. I'm so excited. And
now, Yvette Washington asked the question, is this just for DC residents?
Yes, it is. Because it is a grant, a DC grant funded program. It is for DC residents. They do have to be over the age of 60, and they do have to have some level of memory loss.
Okay. And Ingrid French asked, well, she says, I would like to post this call for retired jazz musicians on my Facebook page.
Please.
Yes. Okay? Please and thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So should she go to the website to get more information? What does she do?
She want to go to musicmemorycafedc.org. And you can also call the number that you gave them earlier.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Angela Ballard at 202-723-8537. And Davey, you're in the midst of celebrating 25 years of the Washington Jazz Institute. You and Esther started it 25 years ago?
Yes, we did. We formally launched it. It's an outgrowth of my teaching at Duke Ellington School of the Arts and wanting to see young people before they came to be exposed to the arts. It was a dual role because it allowed us to be a feeder system. We used, if you remember, most of us who were this age, remember when there was a feeder system in your community. Your elementary school had a specific middle school to go to, and all the way up. The current situation, due to a lot of causes, which would be another whole program, doesn't allow the young people the access, especially in the district where the cost is so high, just the cost of living, but everything. Musical instruments are no longer given to students or loaned to students to take home. The instruments, and I'll give a quick example. An instrument that I bought when I was in high school in 1968, it cost me $425, would cost me $13,000. So if you can, yes. Wow. And even the industry has suffered to the point where they are making the instruments, the craftsmanship, as not as strong, long lasting, so that they can cut the cost of the parents, purchasing the instruments, but those instruments don't last. The same instrument that I was talking about, I purchased in 1968, I still play. There are a lot of instruments that are being manufactured now that may not last throughout a full year.
Wow. My goodness. Well, thank God for the Washington Jazz Institute, and congratulations on 25 years and many, many more to come. Mm-hmm. And Thelma, the Memory Cafe, we're going to monitor all of the people that call up to audition. We're hoping that you get a wide variety of people to join the jazz band. And I know you're going to let us know when that accumulating concert is going to happen.
That's exactly right, Jackie. And also, from the folks that won't be qualified to participate in the jazz band, we're going to invite them to continue along with the Genevieve and Johnson Senior Daycare Center to sign up as a participant. And then they can enjoy the other social and recreational benefits that the center has to offer. Because we have social workers, we have registered nurses, we have daily recreation and socialization programs, we have hot, delicious meals every day, transportation to and from the center every day. So even if they didn't get in the band, they can still become a member of Genevieve and Johnson. And while I'm thinking about it, it would be remiss of me if I did not say thank you again to the Commission on Arts and Humanities for this awesome grant. We are so thankful. It's one of two grants, actually, that they gave us. I know we're focused on the Music Memory Cafe, but they did give us a grant to create time slips. If anybody is familiar with time slips and taking the seniors through a journey of their elderhood. And we're going to be presenting that on this coming Friday at 12:30 at Zion Baptist Church. I want to put that little plug in there for time slips with Nefeli. But I want to say that I also want to say thank you to Chairman David Saunders, because that's our chairman with Zion Community Enterprise. And he was very instrumental in helping us to write the grant for the Commission on Arts and Humanities that got us this grant for the Music Memory Cafe. So I want to make sure we
thank you to Pastor Keith Bird.
I was getting ready to say also, I want to say thank you to the pastor of Zion Baptist Church, Reverend Keith Bird, because they always have our back at the Genevieve and Johnson Center. They support us in everything that we do. So certainly we are very grateful. And also, I want to thank the young lady who pointed me in the direction of Davey Yarborough. And that is our one of our artistic consultants, Joy Jones, who's an author and a creative consultant who come to the program once a week and provide creative arts and poetry for our seniors. And she was the one who told me, you better get Davey Yarborough, because he's going to make sure that this Music Memory Cafe take off. And she was right. It was right.
Talking jazz in the district or the nation, you got to get Davey Yarborough. Definitely a legend.
and we're thankful.
I appreciate you all. I do want to say just a couple of things more about the 25th anniversary. Of course, we would not be operating for those 25 years if it were not for the help of our church, People's Congregational United Church of Christ, where Reverend A. Knighton Stanley actually cleared a room and gave us space, and we are still at that space, and we are allowed to run our programs with young people from age 12 to 21 most of the year. We go from October to March and on Saturdays, and then we have a summer intensive camp for 4 weeks, 5 days a week, and it is free to the young people. Added one more thing. When I was coming up, I had to work during the summer to get that saxophone. Well, with the help of the city and the Maryberry Summer Youth Employment Program, the youth are paid to come and learn. So if they did need to work during the summer to help out with the family, they are employed. So the young folks are getting the benefits of this. Even sometimes when they don't have instruments, we're allowed to give them instruments to use while they're there. And if they don't get them by the time they go to college, they take them with them there personally. But the city has been a blessing to me, to my family, and it's really easy to want to make things at least as we had it when we were coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful. And please give my best to Esther.
And
Thelma, give my best to Dr. Keith Bird. And thank you both for this wonderful conversation. We look forward to the good news of when that concert's going to happen, so we can tell all of our listeners and viewers. God bless.
Jackie, if I may, there was something I forgot to mention. Our marketing consultant, Daryl Harris, would get me if I didn't mention this, that we are looking for sponsors and more donors. Because even though we have this pilot project, and we're thankful for the Commission on Arts grant that we received, we know that we need more instruments. We know that it's going to take more staff and more assistance to help sustain this project. So we would like to ask for the community's help. Spread the word. We're looking for more jazz musicians. We're looking for donors and sponsors. And we are auditioning every Monday.
All right. Thelma Burless and Davey Yarborough. Davey?
And we thank you for giving us this platform to get our word, to our words out. Most of the organization, nonprofit situation is tough nut to crack. And we can't do it without the help of the community. So whatever assistance we can get, either through sponsorships or donations, we greatly appreciate.
Thank you both so much for this enlightening conversation. And we invite everyone who wants to donate, find it on your heart, to please contact Angela Ballard at 202-723, 8537. And you can also go to the,
Music Memory Cafe DC.org.
Okay, dc.org. Thank you both.
Thank you,
Jackie. Thank you, HUR.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on HUR at Home Inspiration. And we invite you to join us again next Sunday at 6 p.m. for another exciting conversation. Thank you. God bless you. Please be safe and be blessed.